What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today is a glorious yet chilly day here. We're in San Marcos, Texas at the San Marcos skate park, and I have something really exciting that just came into the mail. Just wanted to say, full disclosure, this is not sponsored or ad or whatever. This is going to be a general review for this BMX park that I'm about to unveil, which you probably saw in the thumbnail. So let's get into it, and that is the Sir from Nowhere BMX. So, you may be asking yourself, JR, what is Sir besides a fantastic restaurant on Bravo TV's Vanderpump Rules? Well, same name, different acronym. This is the Slow Your Roll bottom bracket spacer from Nowhere BMX. And basically what it is, it's a little spacer that comes with these washers that you put on your bottom bracket and basically tighten down, and then using some friction technology, the idea of it is to slow your cranks from spinning. So especially when you take your feet off, which has always been a problem for me. For example, when you kick a tail whip and then sometimes you kick a little too hard, too heavy, or your cranks are a little loose, the cranks will go cockeyed and spin. Typically the way I prevent this is either tightening my chain down, which is bad for your driver as well as your chain, or I would go to Home Depot and get like a little rubber washer and then put that into the bottom bracket. Yeah. So now you might be asking yourself, JR, you just gave us the answers how to fix this problem. Why are you so excited? Well, like I said, it will save the life on your driver as well as your chain. And actually back in like the 2014 to 2016 era of BMX Park, there was this company called Vocal BMX, and they had something very similar to this. However, they were overseas and I was never able to get my hands on them. So I've been looking for a product like this for a long time. And then randomly, my buddy Jameson, who actually rides for Nowhere, he showed up and he had this, and I was like, where's that where I get? And he said nowherebmx.com or whatever it is. And I was like, okay, bet. So I went ahead that night, ordered it. It just arrived. So let's install it. The idea for this video is to show how to install, as well as kind of test it out, as well as ride San Marcos skate park. Because I love this skate park. Even though I died on the hip over here last time I was here with Jaden. But we move on, we grow, and that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna take this bottom bracket and we're gonna put it onto this bike. And what I also love is it's blue, and my bike has blue accents, so it'll match nicely, because I do love how this spacer looks, but this one should be better. So let's install this Johnny. So I basically skimmed through Nowhere's how-to video. They do have a really good one up on their channel. I skimmed through it because I'm a bike mechanic god. So I basically had to watch 10 seconds and I already have an idea of how this is installed. So what you're gonna need is your bike, your cranks, this thing, and some Allen keys, or however you're gonna take off your cranks. And also they did note that inside your bottom bracket, there's that spacer that goes between the bearings. It's highly, highly, highly recommended that you have that in there, because this pushes up against that and it will be bad for your bearings. So I have that, I'm pretty sure. I'm like, I'll say a solid 85% sure that I have that spacer in this bottom bracket. But instead of checking, we're just gonna fucking wing it. So what we're gonna do is take off this crank here. They recommend you do the non-drive side because there are Allen keys that you need to access in order to tighten down. So that's what we're gonna do here. So we're gonna take this out. Nice thing. And also, they comes in, I believe, 19mm and 22mm options, and they said in their video that they designed it to work with all cranks. So I'm gonna take their word for it. The profile cranks that I ride are very thin, so I believe it should go on with ease and I should be able to access it. But if you have thicker cranks, it might be something that you need to look out for. So I'm gonna take that off, take all my spacers, make sure I keep my spacers all matched. Then we're gonna take that off, revealing the bearing. And then we're gonna go on to this side. Oh, nope, we're littering, don't litter. And it comes with, god damn it, all right. Sorry, I just don't wanna litter. It comes with the spacer thing itself. Pretty cool looking, actually. It's actually not too heavy. About the same weight as the other one. And then it looks like it comes with 2 of these washers, which I believe are 3D printed. And then what we're gonna do is take one of them, and I think you just slide it up on there, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Slide it up on there again. And then before before you start turning it down, you want to put everything back together. So what I'm going to do is find a good angle and then hopefully line it up. I'm just going to eyeball it, see how far we get. Terrible, fucking terrible. Also, don't forget to put your bearings things back on. Pop this back on. Yeah, looks straight. And then you tighten this bolt back and down. There you go. You can see that you have the little pins where you adjust with the Allen key that they provided. I want to make sure that the pins have a ton of clearance so I'm able to get into them and make sure none of them are behind the crank themselves. So we're going to tighten this Johnny down, right? Pretty good. That's about normal. And then I'm going to make sure that, yeah, so this is a little bit thicker than my other spacer. So what I'm going to do actually is take it off, remove one of the spacers that I previously had on, and try it back and see if the clearance is a little bit better, because you don't want your cranks being too far from your frame, but you also don't want them being too close where it bangs against it, which you can maybe see here. I have a good dent from my cranks hitting my frame because I'm just an animal, I guess. I don't know. Oh my God, and I put it on perfectly straight, kinda. Yeah, that's about right. So again, put this together. Probably gonna be fast forwarding through this stuff in the editing bay, JR. Feels pretty good. And then gonna take my little handy dandy Allen keys and evenly, Crazy Carl said, evenly tighten this down. So that's what we're gonna do. Boom. And I'm gonna just go kind of like treat it like a stem. Ish. Boom. And then my idea for this, like I don't want it to be too tight where it's like uncomfortable to pedal, but I also don't want it to be too loose where it kind of defeats the purpose. So I kind of want that right in the middle. So let's kind of just get these flush. Oh my, yeah, see, that's what we're talking about right there. Yeah, no, we're a fan. We are a fan so far, actually. All right, and just like that, we have it installed. That is significantly better. It looks a hell of a lot cleaner than the rubber washer that I used to put in there. And I loosened up my chain too ahead of time because I did have this thing like super tight. But now, like, that's perfect. And clearly, as you can see, you're not gonna be able to do crank flips. I don't care how big your quads are, it ain't gonna happen. Where I see this really helping people out is obviously people who do a lot of tail whips, especially people who are brakeless and do tail whips, because it'll keep the cranks nice and flat. And also anyone who's just learning tail whips or wants to get better at them and wants to take another factor out of the equation, aka crank spinning, I would definitely pop one of these bad boys on. And honestly, I don't think it's like a gimmick so far, at least. Like, I want to see how it performs and how it holds up. This is really going to be like a first impressions. But if this thing holds up, I'm going to keep it, and I'm definitely going to order a black one for the street bike, because I would like that. So without further ado, gonna get a little bit of a warm up in, and we're gonna ride some bikes, and I have a couple stunts in mind that we're gonna do and give you my overall impressions. So here we go. All right, fellas, just finished the install. We're gonna do our first drop in, first test ride on the Slow Your Roll Spacer bottom bracket of love. What I mainly want to look out for is, like, is it harder to crank? Is it like a noticeable difference just normally riding? Because it'll kind of suck if like it was super hard to pedal around, and so far actually doesn't feel too bad. All right, I don't know why I did a bar spin when I'm testing something that helps with tail whip. So to do so, we're just gonna do a little fly out tail whip and see how it feels, because usually my cranks spin. Yeah, pretty good, huh? Not bad. All right, after that first little run, I can tell that its intended use is working out perfectly. So like when I would put a rubber washer behind the bottom bracket, which a lot of people do, a lot of people told me that was like a trade secret for a while, it feels super stiff. This actually feels smooth, but it is tighter to pedal, but not like where you're struggling. And then it's also better than having like a super crunchy chain because it's over tightened. So overall, riding around and pedaling, it feels fine. Like I definitely feel like I could go and ride street and pedal for a while and not have an issue. But also now that I'm just thinking about it, with that, if you keep that little Allen key on you, you just loosen it up and you should be able to pedal easier. It's a win-win. So now that I know I'm not gonna die, let's get some stunts here. It is quite windy, no good example, but we're gonna stunt it up. Here we go. All right, to start things off, there's a little hip over here that I really enjoy, so we're just gonna whip it. Whee! All right, it is a bit windy, so we're gonna just do some techie stuff while we wait for the wind to die down, because I'm a big daddy. Oh yeah. All right, wind is definitely a big factor today. Wind and cold. It's 55 degrees here and I'm freezing my ass off. I know Mike Varga recently posted a video where he's riding his airbag in the snow with his buddy Ben. I'm not on that level, but the level I am on is I just did that bar from that quarter into that big wedge, and we're on the T-bog journey, so we're gonna T-bog it, and hopefully it'll be nice. I'll take that. All right, that T-bog felt pretty good. Stoked on that. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but when in doubt, flare it out. So we're gonna flare that quarter. I like the rolly bit on the snail kind of looking guy. I'm gonna flare it. Woo! I truly love this round quarter. It is actually pretty smooth. It's kind of freaky. Flare felt good on it. Why don't we, because this is to test this bottom bracket, why don't we do a whip air? A whip air. See if the cranks come flying around or not, or if we're good. So, let's do a whip air. All right, for this whip air, we're gonna take kind of a similar approach. We're gonna hit the hip, go around, then whip air. But instead of bar, we're gonna do the toboggan. Damn, that wind picked up right towards the end. Whew, it's so scary when your wind is so scary. This wind is really winding today. But also will say, I keep forgetting that this bottom bracket thing is on my bike, because it actually does feel pretty smooth. That was my biggest kind of worry, that it was gonna feel like I was really pedaling and having to put a lot of effort, but it does feel pretty smooth. I guess it's probably, my guess would be like the plastic that they used, or I'm just overhyping it. All right, I just realized, you guys can't see the wind because it's invisible, but watch this. That's insane. No way! No goddamn way that just happened. All right, my dudes, that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm absolutely cooked and freezing cold, and this wind is almost getting unbearable, but great session here at San Marcos. Loved it. Also, in the future, this weekend I will be going out to Best Side Trails with a couple friends, so be on the lookout for that video because that's gonna be an insane one. But as for this video with the Sir Slow Your Roll bottom bracket modification, pretty good, honestly, pretty good, pretty surprised. Like during the fakies or pretty good, pretty surprised. It works. My cranks do not spin. It feels solid, it feels nice and tight, and it's also not a dog to really like pedal. Like you really don't feel like there's much there, which is really, really nice. And that was something that I was pretty concerned about. So overall, for $20-ish and then whatever shipping is, I think it's definitely worth it, especially if, again, if you're going to be trying to learn Tailwhips brakeless. I think it's something that will definitely help you out and be resourceful. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, maybe subscribe. Also, if you want to join the members, you can hit the link down below. There's a bunch of special perks. Huge shout out to my members, Violent Sun, Kimberly Smith, and Orlando Pressure Washing Pros. You guys are the OGs. You guys are great. And you guys could be great like them if you join. But if you don't want to, I get it. I get it. It's fine. But until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay warm and stay nice and dry. Goodbye.